Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 6, May 22nd. This is about receiving and passing on wealth. This whole week is going to be about actually the energy of creativity, because creativity means that we create something, and we create something to do what? To share it, right? So this week we're going to be facing subconscious patterns because this actually activates a lot of subconscious unintegrated aspects of ourselves throughout the week, because everything that we've been facing the past 5 weeks is going to be kind of caught into this week before then we manifest it in the next week. So specifically, we're going to be dealing with kind of stress and abuse, betrayal, suffering, misery. But it's amazing, because even though we're going to be dealing with denial and hoarding and loneliness, wow, like all kinds of stuff there. Maybe even arrogance and being cut off from people. We're going to reprogram all of that. So stay tuned for the little meditation we're going to do at the end of this, because I need to explain more in detail and depth what it is that we're doing with the receiving and passing on wealth, which is that energy of creativity. So it's like everything, all the lessons that we have been going through the past 5 weeks, they're being met here. So that's a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom for us. And it's being held in the subconscious and also the unconscious brain, which means that we will see a lot of the unintegrated kind of shadows reflected back to us and others, because these tend to be things that we reject about ourselves, which is why the atonement technology and the atonement exercises and the atonement programs are so powerful, because what we hold in our minds is usually what we will manifest in our realities. And so that's saying whatever we are wealthy with, we will manifest. So if we have issues of jealousy, if we have a lot of jealousy, then that's what we are going to manifest, even in the reflection of our reality. So this is really the week where the subconscious patterns are coming to light, and so that we can convert our wealth for a higher value. So if we have a lot of wealth of jealousy, we can do a currency conversion and turn this into all-accomplishing wisdom, for example. But the thing is that this dimension, and thereby this week where we're putting our focus, it can bring up many times feelings that we're not enough, that we are deprived because we are stuck and we are obsessed with the material side of life. And the paradox here is that the only way to truly become wealthy on all levels is by sharing what you have with others, sharing the wealth of what you have with others. So you don't say, oh, I share my jealousy with others. Well, you're already doing that. That's why you have so much of it. Every time you're jealous, you're sharing the jealousy with others. So we want to convert this, we want to change this, and we want to know that we have also a lot of good things in our life, but that we are not the sole creator of these good things, but we are the co-creators of these things. So, for example, when people come to you for answers, it's very important that you remember that you are a co-creator, and that your answers are coming from a spiritual place. They're coming from a higher place. They're not coming from your ego. And this is a very good attitude to have, because anything worth having in this world, I promise you, it's coming from a higher place. It's coming from a higher place. It's coming from a higher directive. It's coming from a higher energy. And this is the power of creativity. Because when we are creative, when we create anything at all, when in any moment that we create something, it's to share. Creativity is to share. And we've been given an opportunity to create. We create beautiful things every day, and we also create chaotic things every day, because it's a lot harder than we thought, and we kind of go crazy sometimes. We get a little bit lost. But the beautiful thing is that God has given us the tools and given us teachers generation after generation to help us to kind of restore and heal the world from all the layers of fate, of all these crazy things that we create all the time. So there's all kinds of teachings throughout all the different cultures and all the different paths. It's really remarkable if you think about it. Like, it's even said that when Adam and Eve fell out of the Garden of Eden, the angel Raziel gave Adam all the secrets and how to get back into the Garden of Eden, how to get back into paradise. And this wisdom was then passed on to Abraham in the form of the archetypes. And then we know from Abraham, the tarot arose from Moses. And then also the Torah arose from Moses. And then the tablets as well, and the temples, and many other books and teachers. And then Jesus came along and tried to teach people to love thy neighbor. But then this teaching meant that we had to really get our egos out of the way, and this triggered a lot of egos. And then we saw where that led us. But there have been lots and lots of ego oppositions that tried to destroy that wisdom to get us back into loving ourselves and loving each other. And I think one thing we need to all agree on is that the ego can influence anybody, even the most spiritual person. And if we think that it can't influence us, then it already is influencing us, okay? So everybody has the propensity to be jealous or egotistical or to sabotage this energy of love in these teachings. But I think it's really important to know that all the tools that we've been given, they have been attacked. We know that love is often attacked. The heart is under constant attack, God forbid, because of the ego's agenda. Hatred is destroying, but the thing is that love creates. So if you think that if you think about it, the universe has been around for about 15 billion years, but our consciousness and the ability to transform and kind of liberate from this illusionary world has only become a possibility for the past 6,000 years, which is not very long considering how old the world is. Now, there are two ways to transform that we are going to work with this week, and that's, having a spiritual path or through suffering. And both ways work. So the tools that we are working with allow us to really transform on the path so that the only pain we have is the temporary pain that the ego feels. And it also needs to be said that suffering really cleanses the body of the ego. So it's always up to us which path that we're taking. And this week is going to help us to activate the spreading of a unified, non-judgmental spirituality, as well as the syndication and dissemination of the archetypal tools so that the entire world can participate if anyone wants to, which they should. So it's really important to share these tools because this week is going to help us to kind of teach others. And I want to make the distinction that when I say teach, it's not about preaching or talking down to other people. I just mean to walk the talk. That's the best way and the only way to really teach. And then you can share your experiences. That's what makes a good teacher. So once again, Jesus was teaching us, get your ego out of the way. He even showed it to us on the cross so that you can, really channel that voice of God. Now, teaching means that you live what you want to share, which is another way of saying that you live what you want to create. You become that which you want to be. And it's another paradox, but you becoming a living example of the way that you want to be can change all of the world, because a transformed heart changes the world, you guys. So let's work on that. And as you're transforming and healing your hearts, when people are in your presence, in your aura, they will see how you've changed, and they're going to want to know how you did it. They're going to want to know what is that source, and there you can share how you did it, and bring answers to questions people have. And don't worry if they think you're crazy, because they're going to think you're crazy one way or another. This week is giving us all the desire and the ability to really share the gift of also like the all the experiences that we're living and walking through that help us to transform. And I know a lot of us do that, and it's a really important thing to do to be wealthy. Okay, so I want you to just now get into a meditative state of mind. I'm just going to help you integrate some of this energy. And I want you to first look at the wands in the upper right-hand corner. You see on the screen, and we're going to reprogram any kind of suspicion that's replacing intuition, or just any kind of abuse in general, whether it be sexual, mental, spiritual, being victimized. And I want us to now reprogram this energy into victory, loyalty, strength, and endurance to stand up for what we believe in, and the ability to protect your values. So we're going to need that throughout the week. Looking to the left at the swords there, I want us to pull up the energy within us of worry and suffering, despair, misery, loss, and pain. Whatever is kind of lurking in the unconscious, the unintegrated parts of ourselves that we have yet to work with, including anxiety, depression, or even insomnia. I want us to pull this up, and we're going to reprogram it into a way that we can choose how we want to transform. We can choose what we want to pick up on, and knowing that first cause is always mental, even the empathy that we're feeling, and that things all happen like for a reason, and that knowing that the universe is never going to leave you stuck, because the planets and the signs and the transits will keep going on until, we make the connection with another person or with ourselves. Looking down at the cups, we're opening any kind of smugness or denial, addiction, and loneliness that we're facing, having like so much and no one to share with, and not opening up to love. And we're going to reprogram that with material success and well-being, the ability to enjoy things, and accepting the truth of our life. And finally, looking at the coins, here we're going to pull up the energy of loneliness and isolation, feeling like we're cut off from others for the sake of our own development, and using growth as a shield to connect with others, feeling uncomfortable or inadequate in the world, and kind of moving too slowly. We're going to reprogram this with realizing oneness and self-realization, so that we can be creative through self-acceptance and self-discipline, and access material rewards, leisure time, and luxury, and like this beautiful energy of euphoria and health and solitary pleasure and self-fulfillment, prosperity and contentment, business expansion and maturity. Have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, bye-bye.